It's Madden NFL 23, where we'll see which conference reigns supreme tonight. It's the Packers and the Silver and Black, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Green Bay Packers and the Las Vegas Raiders. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
And we are underway here in Las Vegas. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by a first-round pick in the 2020 draft out of Utah State. This is Jordan Love.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play, second down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake, Love. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Love looking to throw it. Got Dobbs over the middle. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So now a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Love now. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Love. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it. But he is able to keep the feet in bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch it and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
That was a nice grab. Just couldn't get the feet down, right? He needed that toe tap sequence there. Whatever size shoe he's wearing, probably need about a half size smaller to complete that
one. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They'll have Jimmy G calling the shots. Grew up in the northern suburbs of Chicago, went to Eastern Illinois. Jimmy Garoppolo.
And you'd think as a young QB there'd be some nerves leading an offense out to start a game, but haven't seen any sign of them right now. And speaking with him earlier this week, sensed that the pressure wouldn't get to him. He feels comfortable being the face of this offense and shouldering the expectations on game day, even if he doesn't quite have the years of experience other quarterbacks do.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Here's Garoppolo to throw. He's got him in, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 35.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Garoppolo looks to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Garoppolo. Over the middle, complete. That's Jacobs. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 22-yard line. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher, and that's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
Garoppolo again. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that's one way you take away a 1st down as a defender. Make sure you have a little bit of physical play when the ball gets to the receiver. Find a way to jostle it free. They caught him off guard, forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. Renfro bringing it in over the middle. And the Raiders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
2nd down and goal. Garoppolo under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. It's a big loss of 5 there on 2nd down to bring up 3rd and goal. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So the sack means it's 3rd and goal now from the 10. To throw is Garoppolo. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
The kick by Carlson is good. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds like counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. Keyshawn Nixon now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say, we're going to build from the inside out. Because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
17 yards on the play there as the Packers have the 1st down as well. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Play fake. Here's Love. This one swung out here to Jones. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, not able to find any yardage on that one.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Throwing. Love. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Flush to his right. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return, and the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. 2nd drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Now Garoppolo. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
To throw again on 2nd down. Garoppolo. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down. On play action, now Garoppolo. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Johnson. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. Give them 12 yards that time and a Las Vegas first.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he's got this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 31.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Throwing now is Garoppolo. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Davante Adams, the intended receiver.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Open man is Jacoby Myers. He's got it. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Garoppolo now. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. Touchdown Raiders! Josh Jacobs from 6 yards away as his guys are able to extend their lead. See, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. He has it complete to Christian Watson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Love. Flushed out right. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw now, here's Love. And incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. It took away his intended read and almost dared him to try to put his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To the air again, Love. He's going to sling this deep downfield, and that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. They'll get this to the 24, and it's 2nd down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold them to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
From the 24, Garoppolo. Pass thrown to Adams. He's got it on the crossing route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Garoppolo on 1st down. Open man right side, Myers. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. And he's got this pretty close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 35. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Garoppolo looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. He'll get it inside the 20. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 12-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Same target. It's Jacobs again. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Now, this has been a good march down the field, but now they're stuck looking at a 2nd and 14. Back to the running game with Jacobs. He will push his way down to about the 14. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
On 4th down, here's Daniel Carlson for the Raider field goal. From the right hash, this a 31-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. Nixon now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They find themselves down 13-0 here as they try to get things started offensively. 1st and 10. Love gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Love going to give this one to Jones. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 31, Love. He's got the hookup with Dobbs. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And some room to maneuver. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
And they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Looking to throw again on second down. Love. Well, the pressure gets to Love, and he'll go down. Max Crosby just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Well, if the goal is to get back into this game, the offense is certainly moving in the wrong direction. This is certainly a case where one team needs big splash plays right now, but unfortunately, it's the other team that's getting them.
The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Love. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Here's Pat O'Donnell on now to punt it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added onto their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
Second and 4. Garoppolo looks to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. A 6-yard pass on back-to-back plays. Picks up the first.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
$13 yards remaining on 2nd down. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Garoppolo again. And he'll just get rid of it. They had points on their first 2 possessions, a touchdown and a field goal, but this time, defense stands strong.
Would you say that things maybe are trending now in the right direction for them?
Better than drives 1 and 2.
There's no doubt about it. Now maybe they can exhale a little bit, gather themselves, and really get back into this game.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Here comes Reed. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
On 1st and 10, Love. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now a draw play. This is Jones. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
Well, you know in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are out in the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Got Dobbs over the middle, and they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 44-yard line. Throwing, Love. And he's got his big tight end here. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Love now. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
The offense on third down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Love looking to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive, stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
On first down, Garoppolo. Open man is Myers. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. Minutes remaining in this first half of football. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. To throw, it's Garoppolo. He's got Hooper on the short connection. A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the first.
When offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Garoppolo. That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked down inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now a first down carry by Jones. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Love. This one swung out here to Jones. And he'll be out of bounds right at about the 10-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Love from the gun on 3rd down. He sets to fire deep. He's got a man complete. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. To throw now, here's Love. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. To the air again, Love. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And he's got it inside the 10. Oh, he's brought down. And remember here, no timeouts left. They got to get to the line quick. A big play there just before halftime. And even 40 yards. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for the Packers in that first half. And they've had all sorts of success thus far tonight throwing the football, as they're on pace to throw for 300-plus yards if things continue the way they've been going. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary, as both of these two teams really threw the ball at will in that first half.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half, they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime. Well, in every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Garoppolo's throw going to be taken in by Cole. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Jacobs going to try the middle, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
It may be only a gain of 3 yards, but that back, he deserves a lot more credit on the play. That could have easily been stopped at the line, but his vision and his determination found some space to turn it into that modest gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Once again, it's Jacobs. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 61 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Now Garoppolo. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
A good down to possibly take a shot, and in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on 2nd and inches. Meanwhile, Garoppolo's throw pulled in by Renfro. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 22-yard line. The Raiders on the move, a couple of big plays in succession.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's 2nd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Garoppolo looks to throw once more. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Devontae Adams from 3 yards out. And the Raiders take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
They'll try to run it with Jacobs. And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the two-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in a two-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Yeah, they did. It worked. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Nixon now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result had he opted for the touchback. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. To pass, here's Jordan Love. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Love. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. Last drive, surgeon-like, dare I say, 7 for 7. That'll help your QB rating.
It will indeed, won't it? Can you figure out QB rating? Can you do it? Can you do the formula?
No, I just know the higher the number, the better.
Yeah, that's what I've been told,
That's what I know.
I know that in the NFL, 158.3 is the number they're all trying to get to. I think he was that on that last drive.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And some room to roam now. And he will take this all the way down to the Packers' 28. 98 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
And with a guy his size, you have to know defensively that arm tackles aren't going to fly with him. You have to be able to wrap up, or else he can just brush tacklers aside like they're not even there.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. On play action, now Garoppolo. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Garoppolo. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this one is incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
Daniel Carlson set for the Raider field goal. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. Carlson able to put this one through. And the route is on. It's 24-0. So little by little, the better of these two sides starting to become more and more apparent.
3 points is not a knockout blow in the third quarter, but when the other guys haven't shown they can do anything, they don't have any points. This is looking pretty good. Maybe not a knockout blow, but a good stiff jab, that's for sure.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. Nixon elects not to return it, and this comes out to the 25. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Love. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. They'll try the right side with Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 more there and another first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Love. Over the middle here, it's hauled in by Watson. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
An inside give to Jones. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. On 2nd and 7, Love. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
From the gun on 3rd down, Love. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football, but right now they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard you...
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Aaron Jones, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Packers get a bit closer. So that, Charles, their first score of the ballgame, obviously, coming here in the third quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
Matt LaFleur, he tells the offense, stay out there, go for 2. They're going to run for it with Jones. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. You know, we've discussed this before, and we've seen it at practices. Extra periods being put in for the offense on these 2-point tries, but the defense, they're beefing up their support as well in practice.
They absolutely have to. If people are going to go for 2 and try and gain those advantages and make it tougher on your team as the game goes along, you have to be in a position to stop those. You can't let them get the advantage. So yes, the defensive teams, they're putting in that extra time on 2-point plays as well.
So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. Takes it at the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Time again to see Josh Jacobs and this Vegas offense operate. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Looking to throw, Garoppolo, and finding the tight end Hooper. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs, and he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Garoppolo on first down. Looking deep for Adams. It's caught inside the 25. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it second down.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play, one-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. They got 5 through the air last play, now 5 on the ground. First and 10. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
This is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
Jacobs will cross the line. He's in. Touchdown, Raiders.
While no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
Carlson on for the PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This taken in at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
3 yards remain for second down. On play action, Love to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The offense on third down tonight, they're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 3. Love now. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he is going to have a Packers first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hook up again on 3rd down to keep this drive alive.
Again, it's Love. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Well, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Going back to Love. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
Desperation time here. Love on 4th down. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Love now to pass on 1st down. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Love. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a give to Jacobs running right. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Second down, Jacobs once more. Room here to run. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 131 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
And they've used him in the passing game to great effect so far. And here they get it to him again on the screen. And it turns into a nice positive play.
This is a 2nd and 4. Ball at the 9. To throw is Garoppolo. And it's caught. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Garoppolo now. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Call it a gain of a couple. The defense stiffening here. It's 3rd and goal.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
Jacobs again. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs punching it in from a yard away. And the Raiders have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the 4th. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Nixon elects not to return it, and this comes out to the 25.
The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field.
Charles, we know that this offense is aggressive. We saw that last drive. They went for it on fourth down, didn't get it. Then they give up the touchdown, so now you feel like they really need to respond here.
They certainly do, but let's face it, sometimes when you take that risk, you understand if you fail, a little more onus goes back on your ball club to try and pick themselves back up.
Second and 6, just inside the 30. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. That one caught downfield by Watson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 27 yards there, a first down. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a second and 10. To the air again, Love. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A big pickup of 38.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
Love from the gun. Escaping, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jerry Tillery running in there and setting him down.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further. Up the middle, Jones. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. Third and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. To throw now, here's Love. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far, nothing going right offensively. And his kick is indeed good, and that will knock this down to still a very large 29-point deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. He has been a factor in a multitude of ways. Over 100 yards rushing. He's approaching that number in the receiving category, too.
And you know why I've always respected guys who can have these types of games? As a runner, you're going through a pile, people raking at the football all the time. Your hands take a beating, okay? And to be able to still go out and catch the football in open field after going through that guy's dynamite.
He's been dynamite in this game so far. We'll see defensively if they have an answer because they need to come up with something. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And let's see, the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on 3rd.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Las Vegas. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
On 2nd and 10, Love. This complete to Jones. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. On 3rd and 1, Love to throw. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. One last shot now for Love. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. The extra point is good, but it only impacts the final score as this game comes to a close. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play. But still, for that group.
Yeah, I'd say give them points for positivity. I like that. That part is good. But I often wonder, when the game is settled and the clock is run out, do we really need to kick the extra point?
Oh, yeah. It's silly. It's silly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that people have explained before, well, you got to play it all the way through. Come on, this thing is done.